Welcome to Morpholio Trace. In this video, we'll learn how to use your magic lasso and examples of how you can use the lasso to select, move, duplicate, and delete sections of your drawing. Let's get started. What we're looking at here is a plan drawing, kind of a site plan. We've got our trees down here, and we have a drawing of a plan at the top here. This is a housing design, so we want to see multiples of these. And we're going to use the Lasso tool here, which is located at the top toolbar right there. So when we hit that, suddenly you can see all of our toolbars have disappeared and we are in this kind of selection mode. So if we tap our pencil down, you'll see that it's giving me a little outline around the layer that I have selected. A thing to take note of on the Lasso tool is that you can only work with the Lasso tool on one layer at a time. You can move drawing and different parts of the drawing around, but it's only working on the one layer. So what you do is you simply first circle around the part of the drawing that you want to select. Now you can see that it's selected. This little toolbar has popped up, which allows us to mirror this in different ways, right? This translation lock also locks it in place, so when we move it, it's not changing scale. But that's what's really cool, is we can move this part of the plan all the way around the drawing on this layer in different areas. The other thing that you can do is you can delete that selection. And what we're going to do here, though, is we're going to use the duplicate function, which is right there. Now we have made a copy of that drawing super quickly, and we're going to go over here, flip it, and start placing this plan, making duplications of it, and turning this this drawing into a housing plan rather than just the single unit. Super cool. Just like that, we've duplicated this drawing. Tap outside to remove your selection, and there you go. You have a duplicated part of your drawing, and we've created a pretty interesting housing plan with this replication and mirroring technique. So here we have this drawing by Joshua Gregg, which is a really beautiful perspective. And let's say we want to fill in some more figures than we currently have. And we can do that really quickly using the Lasso tool. So again, we'll hit our Lasso mode selection up there. And then we'll select this group of figures here. We'll duplicate them. And let's move them over to this empty place, but you can see they're a little big. So now let's unlock their scale. So now we can resize this drawing. We can maybe bring them down a little bit. Let's also mirror it so we get a little bit more variety on the drawing. And we place it, and when we tap outside, you can see that we have now super quickly filled in that gap right there with using the Lasso tool and adding some more figures into the drawing. This can also be really helpful when you are diagramming. And there's some arrows here on the left side, but we want to also make those same arrows on the right side facing the other direction. So let's just tap our selection tool here, select our arrows. And as you can see, I think that I have a layer on. Yep, if we see, this top layer is not where those arrows are. The arrows are on this bottom layer. So when I was trying to select, it actually wasn't grabbing anything at all. So let's try it again when we turn off this layer. And now when we hit the select tool, now you can see that our layer is highlighted there. We've made our selection. We duplicate, bring it over to the other side, and this time we'll mirror it twice to get our arrows in the right direction, and then we'll place them, tap, and boom, just like that, we've completed our diagram. Another example we'll look at is this elevation by Mike Morrissey, and you can see here that we have one window placed and the rest of the facade is looking a little blank, so we want to add some more windows in there. One key tip about this too is that it's really helpful to keep your different elements of your drawing on different layers, and that will allow you to really effectively use the lasso tool. So you can see that I've placed this one layer, this one window on this single layer. So if we hit the eye, you can see it's on that layer. So now when I use my selection tool, I can comfortably select anywhere around that because that's the only part, the only drawing on the layer. I can duplicate it, and then I can move it into place. And we can complete this facade really easily, just duplicating and adding the windows around the whole thing. And just like that, we've finished our elevation by copying that one part of the drawing and moving it around. So not only is the selection, the lasso tool, really helpful for duplicating parts of the drawing, but it also can be used in making patterns. So here's this sketch by Javier Galindo, and you can see that there's a pattern that he kind of has started here, and there's a bit more of it on this side. Maybe we want to fill this whole gray area with this pattern, and we can do that by starting to fill out the drawing that we have here, but then we can use the lasso tool to quickly fill and finish that up. So you can see what we'll do here is we'll actually flip this around and mirror it so that it kind of fits in really nicely. We'll do that again over here. Duplicate it again. All right, so now we have this. So now what we're going to do is we're actually going to use the lasso tool to remove the excess parts. So what we can do is go around here, select, and what I'm doing is I'm using the endpoints of the lasso to make a straight line across my selection. And then when I delete, I missed it a little bit there, so I'll go back one more time. When I delete, I'm getting a clean edge right along my, my gray part there. And now I'm using the lasso tool to help me delete the pattern. And now I've quickly been able to duplicate and add this pattern to the drawing. Super, super helpful for pattern working like that. Here you can see we have this sketch by Rodrigo Cavazos, who is a really great industrial designer. And I've started before to add some texture in behind to kind of give this bar of color across. And you can see that I've deleted most of it, but there's still this part that's on top of the coffee maker here. So what I'll do is I'll grab my selection tool and I'll just start to outline around where I don't want that color to be. And I'll delete, got a little bit more here, so I'll come back around, delete that. And so now we've removed it there, but let's clean up this band a little bit so it's just like right across the streaks where the rest of the lines are. So we'll take this, we'll delete that, come over here and delete that. Come down here. And boom, now you can see really quickly we've cleaned up this drawing. We've removed the sketch from in front of the drawing, and we've added this really beautiful band of color really quickly, really cleanly using the lasso tool. Thanks for watching, and be sure to check out our other how-to videos.